What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka All Fires. Now, long before Marvel Studios had their huge sit down at the Burbank HQ, right around the time that Thunderbolts came out, and Kevin Feige fielded a ton of questions and answered candidly to the media about everything Marvel Studios. Leading up to it, we were hearing tons of reports about changing up their game plan for which projects they were going to release, how they were going to release them, and try to right the ship, so to speak, and get Marvel Studios back on track at the box office where the numbers were starting to slip considerably and during the Multiverse Saga. Now, during that meeting, Kevin Feige confirmed that they have a plan that takes them through 2032, but didn't reveal exactly which projects it would revolve around, what the next major saga would be, or any of the details we would hope to ask. That's for a future Hall H far down the road, probably during the summer of 2029. In the meantime, we're getting confirmation of a major detail that, if true, is going to go a long way in fixing what was wrong with the Multiverse Saga, and it goes beyond just picking which titles and which characters to focus on, but moreover, choosing which storyline they want to go with from the beginning and making sure there's a very clear voice and overseeing of the projects to make sure they're all cohesive. Again, this was something the Multiverse Saga lacked. They're about to fix it, and it's awesome. We're breaking down this latest detail as confirmed by one of the trusted industry insider trades. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately. If you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the #1 thing you can do to support us at the channel. Plus, it'll earn you for all the giveaways if you want. Stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so according to the Industry Insider editorial, the Cosmic Circus, who we've been confidently re-reporting on here at the channel for years, and their contributors and editor-in-chief, both Alex Perez and Lizzie Hill, both provide great information. They are confirming that the Russos will stay on after Avengers Secret Wars and basically oversee the entirety of the next saga, which I think we can comfortably, for now, still refer to as the Mutant Saga, and presumably, if they don't direct any of the specific films in the Mutant Saga, we'll also be taking over the 1 or 2 conclusion event films that we would expect to come in 2031 and 2032 as they reach the end of their plan. And this is really important and really a big deal for 2 reasons. Number 1, it is so obvious from the beginning of the Multiverse Saga with the countless introductions during post-credit scenes for characters we never saw again, or storylines that just ended up going nowhere or which were never revisited at any point. There was no cohesive idea where they were going. And because of that, there started to be a lack of interest, especially with the overproduction and the number of products they were putting on Disney+. So obviously, as part of their plan, they're going to attack that by releasing less movies and releasing less TV shows, quality over quantity. In doing so, it gives them a much easier job of making the projects matter and actually building on the storylines so that we don't get what we just had with the Multiverse Saga again. And I think, obviously, I've said it twice during this video, but it is important. The characters you choose to focus on are point of view characters like Steve Rogers and Tony Stark were during the Infinity Saga. They need to be established and we need to see them multiple times. But more importantly than that, the Russos will not have to play cleanup the way that they are right now, and let me explain. They basically have to take all of the characters that were introduced the way that they were, with the storylines they are, the baggage for the projects that were either good or weren't. They have to take everything as it was in the MCU and now put it together to make Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. I can imagine that is a bit of a trick. Also, consulting a lot of people like, say, Michael Waldron, who wrote some of this stuff, especially the important canon stuff with the multiverse for the 2 seasons of Loki, bringing them in, working with them to make sure they get everything right. How much easier would it be if they were steering the ship from the beginning? There, throughout the process, hiring the writers, overseeing what the stories were, making sure the details they needed were in place as they work everything across the metaphorical chessboard, so that when we get to whatever ends up being the next saga, let's call it maybe Judgment Day or Age of Apocalypse, which has been indicated, they will have been there the entire time. A, to control the way things went, B, to line things up the way they want, and C, to alleviate whatever mess they're having to basically undo now. I could imagine doing Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars would have been hard regardless, but it's even harder when you're walking into a situation like they were, with so many creatives and projects that don't seemingly tie together, and now having to bring this ensemble and cast together to make some meaningful movies. The Russos at least had some lead up with the Captain America Winter Soldier and Civil War run to give them some practice and move some of the chess pieces in that way. They did not get to do that at all during the Multiverse Saga. I bet they wish they had. I bet they're thinking about that now, and that's what I think leads to not only them agreeing to do it throughout the next, say, the Mutant Saga, but also for Kevin Feige to want that, to have at least some cohesive idea of what's going on. And look, you may be quick to ask, just as I am, why couldn't Kevin Feige have done that? But really, he's not the same type of creative that a director is, or that the Russos are. Yes, he's definitely a part of plussing all of these films, as he says, and he's a producer. He spends a lot of time on set. He's doing a lot of creative work, but he's not a director. Again, the way that the Russos are, he's also not a writer. And so where he could have overseen all this stuff and kept it together, it wouldn't be the same way that the artists in the Russos will be, as they're saying, hey, this is how we see these final movies happening. Now we can set this all up. Kevin Feige's a part of the process, but he's definitely not a director or a writer. Those two jobs are super important in all of this. That's how you get that singular voice. And do I ever think that Marvel Studios is going to give up the movie by committee? No, that's just a part of their process at this point. But again, the Russos are so well versed in that process, having them there from the very beginning of, again, the Mutant Saga or whatever it ends up being is going to be so quintessential in making sure that it is a lot more cohesive and it feels a lot more like a story that's going somewhere, a la what we had in the Infinity Saga, than basically what we've got right now in the Multiverse Saga, which is the Russos show up, bring back Robert Downey Jr., introduce a new villain in Doom, and try to tie together all of the characters, which incidentally, I think is their only way forward. I don't think they should spend any time trying to clean up or catch up with anything. Just hit the ground running with the characters you got and let the story tell itself. We don't need any explainer. And if you do show up for the Avengers film because you haven't watched any of the Multiverse Saga and you're wondering who characters like John Walker and Yelena Belova are, you still don't need an explainer. You get it. They're superheroes. There's Dr. Doom. You'll know the X-Men. Trust me. Guys, let me know all your thoughts though down below. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think the Russos are the one to do it? And to me, as I've been saying this whole time, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove they can't. And well, if Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars are a disaster, maybe we'll think differently. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PS5s. The next one is right around the corner for Wonder Man. We're also giving away a ton of stuff throughout the holiday season. All you got to do, be a subscriber, leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The best way to keep up with the content is to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms under the name AllFires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posted again real soon.